care of ourselves, our families, our careers, and everything on top of that, and stay hydrated, healthy, and well, right? So this is going to be the perfect segue for me to kick this off, for me and Kiana to unpackage what it means to make sure you have a proper mindset to take you through your chaotic day, to take you through the woes of life. And not saying that you don't already have the proper mindset, but again, this is all about a health and wellness type lifestyle. And we all know health and wellness goes beyond the gym. And the most important part that you have to take care of, that we all have to take care of, because I'm speaking to myself as well, is our mental stability. So without further ado, I want us to really unpackage, Kiana, and I want to get your thoughts on unpackaging what has been your experience, either for yourself personally or talking and working with some of your clients when you work with them about their mindset. What are some of the things that you're deep diving with them and talking to them about? And what are some of the triggers, whatever that trigger may be, emotional, stressors, depression, work? What are some of those triggers that you find yourself deep diving that you have helped your clients with to shift their mindset to a more healthier mindset?
Yes, Marquessa, thank you for that. The biggest thing for me that I focus on is confidence. And honestly, you wouldn't believe how much each person currently has inside of them. They just don't believe that they can do it. They don't have the confidence that they can do it. Someone has told them something that has made them think that they can't do something. And so my coaching is really grounded in building confidence. And there's no secret answer to giving you a magic statement or whatever the case may be to build the confidence. It's just how you go through your everyday. And that's where the mindset piece come into play. And one thing that I have really focused on with my clients is around that positive mindset, the mindset that you can do anything. And one thing that I think gets in the way a lot of times is that self-doubt and that negative self-talk. People automatically put in their heads that they can't do something. And the statement that I say to people, if you don't believe you can do it, why should someone else believe that you can do it? So you have to already start out the gate thinking that you can do something. And, one thing that I hear a lot of people and a lot of my clients say is, I can't do that. And so I've tried to help them understand and change the thought process of, you maybe can't do it yet, but what can we do to put in place to make sure that you can get there? And some people, that's the hardest part to get over because they don't believe in themselves. And that's the biggest part of building people up, is building that confidence to help them understand that they can get there and that they can do many, many things that they put their minds to. They just got to first believe in the process and believe in themselves.
Yes, that's absolutely correct. And again, going to it a little bit further, just mindset in itself is all about an attitude, right? It's an attitude of how people think about themselves, a lot of what you just mentioned. But I want to break it down more into 3 ways so people can really get the value and the solution of where we're going with this conversation. So when we talk about an abundance mindset and the way you think about abundance in your life, a positive mindset growth, and we talk about the what, the how, and then why you get there. The why is always important. And sometimes people think that they know their why, and then they get to treading down that path and they realize they really didn't know or understand that why. So when they try to take a different route, it feels like they're stuck or they might be defeated, but they're not. It becomes a matter of what is the attitude and you're thinking about abundance or having more or being enough or being positive, because sometimes it's not just about being positive, right? It's about taking those tangible skills, qualifications, and the potential, the untapped potential that some people don't even tap into, to know that you're still a learner on this course called mindset, so you can get rid of fear and you can get rid of self-doubt. So when we talk about abundance of a mindset and we talk about a positive mindset and a growth of your mindset, what kind of information or what other details can you offer to the audience to just break that down even further so that they can take away the solutions of these 3 things that we're talking about as far as mindset is concerned?
So can I first talk about that why piece, which is
Yeah.
a huge piece. And that's something that me as a coach, I'm sure you also do this, is helping people understand their purpose. And a lot of people are not thinking about why they're doing different things. And even for me, I probably didn't necessarily define my purpose probably a few years back. But what I realized after I defined my purpose, I had been living in that purpose for a very, very long time. And I'll even share it with the group. My purpose is to enhance the quality of my life by caring for others and all those that I love. And so anyone that knows me, anyone that works with me, they know that I'm always striving to really help people improve. And so everything that I do and revolve around my life, whether it's my family, my people that work on my team, whoever is surrounded with me, they know that that's my purpose and I'm driving towards that purpose. And that motivates me every single day. So when I think about the why, the first thing that I'm usually helping my clients do is define their purpose. Because once they define their purpose, it starts to make sense as to why they do certain things. It starts to help them understand why they're motivated to get out of bed. It starts to help them understand why should they go and do that challenge that they're a little bit scared to do. So that I first want to talk about that why. And if you all have not really thought through what your purpose is, start to jot it down, and your purpose can change throughout your life. So I encourage you all to think about, what is your purpose? Why do you get out of bed? Why do you do the things that you do? Why do you want to be successful? And that will start to help you see things a little clearer. So when you talk about those three different mindsets, let's talk about abundance. And I think one thing about, having enough is people sometimes don't feel like they deserve to have something. They
Yeah.
don't feel like they've earned the right to have more. And so you have to change your mindset about that. Why shouldn't you want more? Why shouldn't you strive for something? And you know why that is? It's because people don't necessarily see the vision of how they get there. And so in order to have that abundance, you have to think big. I think big all the time, even to the point where I'm almost psyching myself out like, you must be crazy to think you're going to do that, until I start to put a plan in action to make it happen. And when you think so big, sometimes people get afraid because they're afraid of that goal or that destination that they're trying to get to, versus saying, you know what, let me break it down piece by piece. And that's one thing that I do with my coaching and my clients is I break the big things down. I help them to understand that you can get here. You don't have to worry about this big thing and capturing it at a certain time. And I think that's another thing that people get concerned about, that they need to do it at a certain time. I work with my clients and say, we're going to work on your pace, but I'm going to keep you moving forward. Your path to your destination may take a little longer than somebody else's, but you have to stay in your own lane and don't get discouraged because somebody else is doing it a different way. So that's the first piece, is dreaming big, feeling like you deserve what you're going to get. So I'll start with that. That positive mindset. You got to think positive every single day. I have so many people that they start out thinking negative. As soon as they wake up, they may say, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Well, if you tell yourself you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you're telling yourself it's okay to have a bad day. I don't allow myself to say I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Who made that up? That's giving yourself an excuse to be in this negative mindset. Tell yourself in the morning, I'm going to have a great day. Even if you're feeling pain, that's okay. This pain is going to go away. I'm going to keep moving forward. I know one thing that I've done to help me have a great day and to start off in the positive mindset, I have a feel-good playlist. When I listen to music, it's something that gets in my body and it makes me feel good and it puts me in the right mood. And so I encourage many people, as you hear a song, start to create that playlist that makes you feel good. Because I start my day like that out in the morning. I listen to music. And so you have to have this positive mindset. You cannot live in the negative. You cannot live in, you can't believe that something is going to happen for you. Even if it seems far-fetched, start out saying, I can do that. I can make it happen. I just had a conversation with someone today, and that person started out saying, I feel overwhelmed. I feel like I can't make this happen. And I said, well, the first thing you have to do is stop telling yourself that you're overwhelmed. Yes, it is true. You have a lot to talk. You have a lot on your plate, but tell yourself, yes, I got a lot on my plate, but I'm going to get through today. And start telling yourself that until you believe it, because you got to talk yourself into things. And that's something that I believe a lot of people, really put themselves in a position to not get to where they want to be, because they start out with this negative attitude, this negative mindset.
Absolutely. And I do want to go back and just touch on, and really, it touched me even when you said it about the whole dreaming, and you have to believe it. You have to know that you are deserving of more, because it's just like the saying, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. You have to go after fear, and you have to face fear. You got to stare fear in the eye. You got to stare it in the eye to get past it, to get around it, to get through it. And it's just like Winston Churchill said, even if you're going to go through hell, if you're going through hell anyway, keep going. Keep going, because it's always going to be hard. And that self-doubt kicks in when those things happen, when people use the word can't, or they feel like they're not good enough, they're not equipped enough, they're not qualified enough. It's all about, do I have enough of X, Y, and Z? And the list can go on and on and on. And fear quickly kicks in. So with that, we're going to transition to zeroing in on those different types of mindset. And the first one I want to start with is just that fixed mindset. That's more so of that what, right? Like, people want to avoid failure, because at the end of the day, who wants to fail? No one wants to have failure on their mind, on their plate, or as a part of their vocabulary, especially when we know our capabilities. We know our potential. We know what heights we can reach, and we have no limits to what we have set out to do. But that purpose also equals peace, because when you know what your purpose is, it makes it easier for you to get out of a fixed mindset. It's okay to have a fixed mindset sometimes, but not all the time, because it can limit growth. And when your growth is limited, sometimes fear comes in and try to take over unnecessarily, all because something just didn't click right with the way that we're thinking. So getting back to the fixed mindset and the what of that, people avoiding failure, experts a lot of the times adapt to a fixed mindset. But can you talk more and elaborate on the fixed mindset and the what, get into the root of the fixed mindset, so people know, be fixed on what it is that you already know, but don't stay stuck there, because there's more to do, and there's more to learn. Self-selecting out of learning is not always a good thing. Now, when we get of a certain age, yes, we're going to choose to say, okay, this is as far as I'm going. I have gained all I need to gain in my lifetime. I don't need to learn nothing else new. I'm going to leave it to these young folks. But I'm going to let you deep dive and touch on the what of a fixed mindset when we're talking about the perfect people, because there are no perfect ones, but that fixed mindset.
So you hit on a lot of great points as it relates to the fixed mindset. One of the biggest things with a fixed mindset is you're afraid to take on challenges, and you're afraid to take on those challenges because you're afraid of failing. And so for me, the way you grow is you learn from your experiences. I've changed my mindset about making mistakes and failing. I changed it to unplanned learning opportunities. That was an unplanned learning opportunity. And guess what you have to do? You have to recognize what happened and then work towards something better. And I think sometimes people they fear the failure. They fear making a mistake. They fear falling down. But it's not how you fall. It's about how you get back up. And I tell some people sometimes, you don't focus on the setback, you focus on the comeback. What are you doing to move forward? Because if we sit and think back and just drown in what's causing us issues and problems, you're going to be sitting there for a long time thinking you can't get anything done. But pick yourself up. Think about, what can you do to move forward? What can I do to put myself in a better position? So I encourage people all the time, get uncomfortable, take on something that scares you. Because once you take it on, then you're no longer scared anymore. There have been many times I said, man, this makes me a little nervous. I'm a little afraid about it. But then guess what? Once I get in it, I'm like, I'm rocking and rolling. I can keep going. And so then you start to take more chances. And so I challenge people that's listening today, do something that makes you a little afraid. Start small. Because once you start small and you realize, okay, if I made a little mistake, it's not that big deal. I can keep going. So I encourage people to really push themselves, to challenge themselves, because that fixed mindset will keep you where you are. Because you're afraid of making mistakes. You're afraid of what other people are going to say. That's a big one. We sometimes don't do things because we're worried about what others are going to think. We're worried about someone's opinion. We're worried about how we're going to look to other people. And sometimes you can't worry about that, because if you're going to try to grow and you're going to try to move forward, you have to get out of that mindset of being afraid to take on challenges and being afraid to make a mistake, which again, I'll say, call it an unplanned learning opportunity.
Yes. And then that's one of them, but we're going to go on to the next one as well, because this other one is the benefit of maintaining your mindset, making sure it's in a sustainable place that you can come out of if you find yourself in a bad place. And that gets to that why part, right? The benefit mindset. You got to have a why and a beneficial mindset to everything that you do, because that can trigger some setbacks as well if you're not really set on your why. And you mentioned earlier about changing your mind. We're human, right? So just because we know the big picture and we see the vision of our why doesn't mean we can't tweak our why to make us better, so that as we're getting better, we're able to benefit from the fruits of our labor. Because the first sign of quitting is when we don't see results, right? We live in this microwave society and we want to see things right now. We want it to happen instantaneously. And when it does not, then we start to feel some type of way about ourselves and we lose the value, and we forget about what benefit was on the other side of that mountain if we'd have just put our mindset on it and moved it out of the way and just kept that power in our mind. So I do want to hit on the benefit part and hit to that why of mindset. So I'm going to let you talk about that a little bit more, the benefits of the right mindset.
Yes. So one thing that you made me think of is an exercise that I go through with my clients. And this is when they're setting their goals. And so someone will tell me, I want to purchase a home, or I want to start a business. And so I have them go through this process of, tell me, why is it that you want to start a business? And they'll say, well, because I want to make more money. Okay. Why do you want to make more money? Because I want to retire early. Okay, why do you want to retire early? Because I want to be able to spend time with my family. Why do you want to spend time with your family? Because it means a lot to me to create those moments. And so I take people through this exercise, because when you really drill down and think about why you're trying to accomplish something, hopefully it motivates you more to do it, because you're not only thinking about buying a house, you're thinking about, starting that business, you're thinking about what are the benefits of me starting this business. And then you go down that list and you start to realize, wow, I really want to start this business because this will help me create more time with my family. So I challenge people, when you're thinking about your goals, really understand, why are you going through that process? Why do you want that goal? And what are the benefits of achieving some of those things? Because I truly think that's what motivates you to do some things. That's what motivates you to get out of the bed sometimes when that goal seems so big. When you really dig down to the root cause of why you're trying to accomplish something, I think that's what moves you forward.
Absolutely. And going further with that, you're a leader in corporate America. I'm a leader in the military. But first and foremost, we're molded and shaped and groomed to become those leaders that we are now. So we see the benefits in a different, we see it from a different perspective when we talk about the benefits of the mindset. But the beneficial mindset is more of a leader type thing too, because they're looking in deep dive in their strengths. They're looking at how they're going to move an organization. But then we fail to, I won't say we fail, we forget And we sometimes shy away from coming back to the personal and the home set, because your professional won't line up and it won't stay intact if your personal is not there. So I like to tell people that you are a leader of your life first before you are a leader of anything else or anyone else. First, you got to lead yourself. You got to be leading in your life. Lead in whatever aspects you see fit in your household, which should be pretty darn good, so that you can take those values into your professional lifestyle, and you can become that leader that followers can connect with. You can become that leader in your life and that leader in your career facet that people can truly connect with. Because another thing I always tell people is learning is about experiences. Like, I can't sit here today and try to teach you or anyone else something that they may or may not already know, especially with the world of Google, right? That microwave society again. Oh, you told me something. I'm not an expert at it, but I can do some research and I'm going to figure out the gist of it, the concept of it, the context of it. And now I got it. That's not always the case with every person. So that's why I say you have to be molded, shaped, and groomed to be a leader, so that benefit of your mindset will really kick in and you can take it anywhere. So if you're knocked off your rocker, you're knocked off of whatever path you were set on, whatever motivational thing you had, and whatever goal and plan you had set your target on, and now you can't seem to get there peacefully and with your purpose, you can deep dive what was the benefit by going back to drilling down that why, so people can really, really understand it. And that may not be the case for everyone, but for someone who falls weak, and we all do, we're all fall weak. I don't care how smart you are. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how healthy you are. I don't care about any of those things that you may think you got under wraps. We all still fall weak, but we have to fall back on that personal leadership, professional leadership, and the benefit of our mindsets. So shifting on to that, because those are meaningful things too, is just pushing on to the whole growth piece, right? Because the leaders part we've discussed, the fix we've discussed, we've talked about that in great detail. But now that whole growth piece breaks out the how. The how is leading to more learning. The how of learning is leading to more growth. So I'm going to let you talk a little bit more about the growth mindset and putting that how with it, and why it is so important that we continue to learn as much as we can, especially if we want to get better at what we do, and if we just want to be a better person in life in general.
So, Marquessa, I think I heard you say this, and it just continued to stick with me, which is being a life learner. And so that's something that I'm always striving to do, is be a life learner. And that's what I want people to understand, is when you're trying to grow, you have to always be looking at ways that you can learn more from others. Someone said to me, I never want to be the smartest person in the room. No, because if you're the smartest person in the room, guess what? You can't learn from someone. So don't be afraid of being a person that doesn't know everything in the room, because you want to ask some questions and you want to continue to learn from the people that surround you. So be a life learner. I even know for me, no one has to tell me to go and invest in myself. I go invest in myself and go learn things all the time. I'm taking a course right now on choosing leadership. Nobody told me to go take that course, but I want to be a life learner. I want to always really think about, what can I do to be the person that I need to be? The other piece is that's sometimes hard, and I've had to learn this, is you got to listen to the people around you when they're giving you some feedback or some things that you don't necessarily want to hear, because if they love you, they're just trying to push you to grow. And so I encourage you, when you're listening to people and they're sharing some things with you, they are possibly seeing something that you are not seeing for yourself, and they're just trying to push you to grow. So don't be afraid to listen to people around you. Don't be afraid to learn something. People are dropping wisdom all the time. And don't think that a title is something, the only person you can learn from. I learn from my clients all the time. And you know how I learn from them in many ways? Because they'll ask me a question, and like you said, I got to go research it. So when I go research it, I'm going to learn to help them. So I tell people, be a life learner. I learn from my clients. I learn from everyone. I learn from my 5-year-old. She'll say something to me and it makes me think like, you're right. I need to think about that a little further. I need to go research that. Or she'll ask me a question and I'll say, I never thought of that. And now I got to go be a life learner and go learn something because she pushed me. So be in that growth mindset, always willing to learn, always willing to take in some feedback from someone, welcome it. Feedback is a gift. I know many people have heard that. It's a gift. No matter how hard it is to hear it, somebody is giving you a gift because they are noticing something that you probably can't notice for yourself.
Absolutely. And before we get to the end here, because I see this being a part 2 episode, I definitely do, because there's so much to talk about on this topic that we don't typically think about. But I definitely see this being a part 2. But we ain't gonna close yet. We're not done yet. I want to go back and talk about mindset setbacks, right? Because people need to know what are the setbacks. Even if they do know, maybe something will click from what we're talking about tonight that will reinforce some things for them. And maybe they were scared to make that move or transition into that job or leave a job to take another one or step out on faith for what their dream was, because they're just too fearful, because something triggered fear within them to make them feel like they can't do it. So I want to talk a little bit about mindset setbacks. And the first one I want to talk about, and I'm gonna pop it up here, is that overthinking piece, right? There's a mindset of overthinking. And then when you put that to what is the issue of overthinking, sometimes it's just way too many assumptions. We don't have enough facts. And we're trying to lead ourselves into a peaceful decision, but we're overthinking this thing. So I'm gonna let you take it a little bit deeper and talk to us about that whole mindset setback of overthinking, some of the issues that come with that. So hopefully someone tonight that's listening can trigger something more positive other than fear and shift their mindset, reposition it, and refocus so that they can continue on the path that they were on. Because some people cutting themselves short, them limiting beliefs, but overthinking.
They are. So when I think of, this mindset and mindset setback and the overthinking is, I think sometimes, again, it goes back to focusing on the negative. When we have a dream, we're thinking about all the things that stand in the way of us getting there. Oh, I don't have time, or I can't do this, or I don't have this skill. I need people to shift that and focus on, let me take that back. I'm not going to say you don't think about those things, because that's how you plan. But you got to also think about, what is this going to give me? Think about the positives. And I think sometimes we sit too long and think about something versus taking action. I hear a lot of people tell me all the time, oh, I don't have time for that, or that's not the right time. I said, well, if you wait on that, it's never going to be the right time, because the stars are never going to align perfectly to what you think you need to accomplish. So we have to start doing something and taking action. And most time people are afraid to take that action. And one thing that I tell a lot of my clients is, stop focusing on perfection. Focus on making progress. Every single day, if you're making progress, you're on your way. I know when I have people that are trying to quit a habit or whatever, they try to automatically quit cold turkey. That works for some, but it doesn't work for a lot of people, because guess what happens? When you try to quit cold turkey and then you fail, you're like, I give up. I can't do it anymore. Versus saying, taking small steps, try something. And, I have someone that's working on their nutrition and their diet. I said, try to change one meal out of the week. When you get consistent with changing one meal out of the week, then go to changing 2 meals out of the week. Your goal is to make progress. And as you're making progress, you're going to get better. Because if you start to overthink and start to think about all the negativity and the negative things that could happen, guess what? You're going to talk yourself out of doing whatever you're trying to do. And then that's a setback. Because then you start saying, see, I knew I couldn't do it. And you don't believe in yourself, and it just all dwindles down, and then you don't get anywhere. You stay right where you are. You have that setback. The other piece that I want to touch on is the fact that when you're having those setbacks, people can set you back because they don't believe in you. And they'll tell you, oh, you can't do that. Or why are you trying to do that? That doesn't make sense. And you got to stop letting people set you back. Because sometimes the reason that they're setting you back is because they don't believe in themselves and they don't believe that they can do it. So guess what? They tell you you can't do it because they don't want you to move further along in your life. And so you have to think about that too. People will cause that setback all the time. And people will say things to me and I'm like, yep, okay. And I'm going to keep going, because then you stop talking. So you show them. And they say, well, I didn't know you were working on that. Because then sometimes you start to realize who you talk about with your dreams with and who you don't talk about your dreams with. Because there are some people that are dream killers. And those are the ones that you want to remove out of your circle, because they're not moving in the same direction. And so I tell people, you got to think about them people that's causing you a setback, because they'll knock you down very quickly.
Listen, this episode is on fire because everything you just said leads to this next point I'm about to flash, the mindset setback of shrinking. Shrinking in an environment you have clearly outgrown. And the issue there is you become minimized. You become stuck because people don't want you to advance further than they are, even though they're not going to put in the same level of work, sweat, tears, effort, grit that you put in to get to where you are or surpass you. They just don't want you to pass them. And that mindset will cause people setback in the form of shrinking in those environments. And you hit the nail on the head. So I'm going to let you spin it even further, because I know you got some more to go deep with that one. But shrinking in environments that you have clearly outgrown is also a fear. It's like, oh, if I leave, they're going to judge me. Who cares? I'm going to go get the blueprint and give it back to you. And it's like that bootstrap effect. I'm going to reach back and get you and pull you up if you want to put in the work to come with me. But I'm not going to stand here with you. That you run that down a little bit more.
Yes. So that piece with the shrinkage. People don't want to hear this. Sometimes you outgrow your circles.
Yes.
And it's the truth, but you do. You want people that's supporting you. And like you said, some people don't want you to get further than them. Some people don't want you to be great. But you got to surround yourself with people that are also striving to do bigger things. Someone told me the other day, as I'm moving forward, don't forget to send the elevator back down. And that's what I'm always trying to do. I'm moving this elevator up, but I'm going to send it back down to try to grab somebody, because I want to create a space where everybody is growing. Not everybody's looking to send that elevator back down. Not everybody wants you to be where they are. I want everybody to be where I am, because that's how you learn. And I even see this with a lot of women. They're looking at, well, how did she get that? Or why did she get that? Compliment each other. Go ask that sister, how did you get there? How did you make it happen? And that's how, even for me, I started my own business. It's because I had a friend, I'm going to call out Dr. Karen Ratliff, that said, you doing all this for your job. Why are you not doing this for yourself? Because she sent that elevator back down and came and got me and brought me with her, because she had her own business. And so you need people around you that's going to bring you with them, because a lot of people will take you down and want to keep you down because they don't want you to be better than them. They want to be the star in the group. There's enough of this world for all of us to shine. And I know sometimes people will dim their lights because they don't want to shine too bright. Let it shine on, because there's enough for everybody. And I encourage anyone that's listening, figure out, is there somebody that you can do to help them? I have a giving spirit. I'm always trying to bring somebody in with me, no matter what. If I learn something, I'm going to teach it to you. I'm not hiding any secrets. What did we do? We would trade notes, sharing things. I could have said, oh, she's a certified life coach. I don't want her to know my stuff because I don't want her to give my clients. No, sister, I want to bring you with me. Let's get these clients together, because there's enough to go around.
You better come with it so we can clap for each other in the spotlight and in the sun. Of course, that's what we do. That's why I said I knew for this episode, when we connected earlier this year, I had to reach back to you. I didn't want anyone else on this episode. I wanted Kiana Nelson on this episode. And baby, you are proving me right.
Well, thank you.
Yes. So we're going to keep this going so we can get to this wrap up and this close. But before we do, I just want to make sure you're willing to come back for episode 2.
Of course I am.
Talk about it. And I know I'm going to make this a part 2. So I'm glad that you are willing to come back, because we're going to do this thing. So the last one I want to touch on, and I'll put up here, and we'll just focus on the setback, and I'll let you put the issue topic and talk that however you see fit. But the setback here is those good for nothing comfort zones. Touched on it a bit earlier, but I know you got some fire of deep diving about these comfort zones, because comfort zones are like the devil. They come
Mm-hmm.
to kill, steal, and destroy your dreams, your potential. Whatever you have set out to do, it will kill it if you're in a comfort zone, because
Mm-hmm.
nobody put the limits on people that's in a comfort zone. They just put their own self-limiting beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
and they self-select out of getting uncomfortable for a lot of reasons. But I'm going to be quiet and let you run down this good for nothing comfort zones, because I know you got some more to give us on this.
Yes, but that comfort zone is definitely a dangerous spot. And you know why we get sucked into that comfort zone? Because it's easy. You don't have to work hard. You feel like this is where I want to be. I don't want to have to work hard. I don't want to have to think too hard. Okay, but you're going to stay where you are. It is something that you are going to have to get out of. You know, one of my mentors told me a long time ago, he said, if you get to the point where nothing makes you nervous and you don't get butterflies in your stomach, you too comfortable. And so some people think sometimes, oh, I'm getting nervous. I don't know if I should do it. No, if you get nervous, that means it's important to you. If you get nervous, that means you're about to learn something. And so think about the nervousness as something different. Don't think about it as a bad thing. I like getting nervous because when I get butterflies in my stomach, I'm like, oh, this is going to be good because I'm about to learn something, or I'm pushing myself. And so I tell people all the time, yes, you can sit and let life be easy, but do not look at the people that are pushing themselves and wondering why you are not getting there. And it's because you're not willing to get out of that comfort zone. That comfort zone is small. It's small. It feels good. But think about that part of your life where it's uncomfortable. There's so much out there. I'm always trying to find ways to make myself uncomfortable. You know, even thinking about getting on this call today, I got excited. And it was because I love to talk to people, but I also knew this was going to push me a little bit, you know, and I was going to have a great conversation. And it's pushing me to continue to grow and to share and to learn more. So I encourage people all the time. Yes, life can be easy. You can live in that comfort zone all you want to, but you have to be okay with what that comfort zone gives you. You get stuck where you are.
Absolutely. And one of the things I want to leave with people before I ask you these fast round mindset questions that I got for you is mindset has to come again with that tangible skill, that tangible value that you can bring to yourself before you can seat yourself at any table. You have to have a tangible thought process, a tangible skill, and tangible potentials that you can bring quality and value to, because that lets people know how, why, and what they need to do to accomplish certain tasks. Because when we feel like we can't accomplish something, again, fear kick in. Again,
Yes.
it goes back to what you've already said, and I'm just going to reiterate it. You just have not figured it out yet. So I want to thank you so much. But before we close, I do have to hit you with these fast round mindset questions. Again, it's all about a mindset. This first one is, what is your favorite book?
Yes. I love the 5 love languages. I learned so much about myself with the 5 love languages. And I know this is quick, but the 5 love languages. Check it out. You'll learn a lot about yourself and others.
I've read it, but it's been a while. And I don't think I finished it. So I'm going to go back and finish that book.
You learn how to interact with people quite a bit.
I'm definitely going to read that. I took a note down of that book, The 5 Love Languages. And then the next one is, how many times were you told no?
Too many to count.
Absolutely. I love to ask people that question, because that one yes, even if it's just one, that's enough to overpower every no you've ever got in your life. I'm glad you said that. And
Yes.
Next one is, do you have a business coach or a mentor?
Yes, several. I think one of the ways that pushed me to have to grow my business also was I worked with a certified, executive life coach, and he inspired me. So yes, I encourage you to have several coaches and mentors in your life.
Absolutely. Okay. And then the next one, before we get to the last question, is what is the most rewarding aspect of your business?
When I get an email from someone that said, you changed my life, or you made an impact on me, or I can someone told me they negotiated a higher salary because of the conversations that I had with them and built their confidence. That's life changing. And so when I can do that for someone, that is so rewarding for me. That makes me so proud of everything that I do every single day.
Yes, and I can tell with the leader that you are, I can tell you're definitely a people-oriented person, and I'm pretty sure everyone that comes in your cross your path definitely established an amazing connection with you. I can tell by some of the comments from YouTube. And then the last question is, give us your number one health and wellness tip.
Well, first, anything self-care is big, but sleep and water. We underestimate sleep. We underestimate drinking water is key for me. So I try to get as much sleep as I can. Some nights doesn't always happen, but that's how you can think. You can think. You get that sleep. You can think properly. You can navigate through your day. So that's big for me, and just any self-care, which I've learned in the recent years. It's okay to be a little selfish with myself and take care of me first. Everyone will be okay.
Absolutely. And so, Kiana, it has been amazing hosting you tonight. I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. I'm pretty sure the ladies in the FitNLadyLike private Facebook group have enjoyed it, as well as our YouTube viewers. I'm very thankful for your time. I'm thankful for you accepting the invitation to not only come to episode 1 of episode 5, but we're going to do episode 5.2 because you agreed to come back. So it's always great to connect with you. I knew there was something special about you when we connected back in March. And I'm so happy that I was able to catch back up with you because you're such an amazing person. And I'm very thankful, and I thank God for you. So how can people contact you outside of this if they want to connect with you outside of this episode? How can they?
Yes, so you can visit my website, which is www.qsnconsulting.com. You can also check me out on Instagram at QSN Consulting. And if you are all LinkedIn people, you can find me by looking up my company, QSN Consulting, or my name, Kiana Nelson. Please connect with me. I would love to connect with everyone on this call today.
Absolutely. So thank you again for your time. This is the conclusion of episode 5 of FitNLady Like a Boss series, the mindset over self-doubt. Thank you so much, Kiana. If you hold just a second, then we can close out this. Good night, everyone.
Thank you for having me.